What if the price you charge has nothing to do with how many pages your product has? Welcome back. Glad you made it today. Over the last 8 videos, we have talked about everything from finding digital products after a health scare to creating your first product, getting your first sale, avoiding the biggest passive income mistake, generating simple product ideas, building without burning out, growing your audience, and why email matters. Today, I want to talk about something that stops a lot of beginners cold: pricing. How much do you actually charge for something you made yourself? Something simple? Something that maybe only took you a few hours to put together? This is one of the questions I get asked the most. And I want to give you the honest answer today, not a formula, not a calculator, just what actually helped me figure it out. So before we get into it, have you ever created something you were proud of and then frozen completely when it came time to put a price on it? Drop that in the comments, because I think almost everyone who has ever sold anything online has felt that exact moment of doubt. Here is the truth about how I priced my first digital product. I did not have some perfect pricing formula. I looked at what the product actually was, how useful it could be for someone, and what felt like a fair, beginner-friendly price. Because it was simple, I did not want to overprice it right out of the gate. I wanted the price to feel like an easy yes for someone while still respecting the time and thought that went into creating it. That is it. That is the whole process. No spreadsheet, no complicated pricing strategy, just an honest judgment call based on value and fairness. And I want to be honest with you about something else too. I probably leaned toward undercharging at first. Part of that was because I was still building confidence in what I was offering. I was still testing the idea itself. And here is something I want you to understand if you are in that same spot right now when you price your first product. You are not just testing the price, you are testing the offer, you are testing the message, you are testing whether people actually understand the value of what you have created. That is normal. That is part of starting. You do not need to have pricing perfectly figured out before you put something out into the world. Now, let me talk about the thing that I think trips up most beginners the most. You look at what you created. Maybe it is a simple PDF. Maybe it is a one-page cheat sheet. Maybe it took you an afternoon to put together, and your brain says, how can I possibly charge money for this? It feels too simple. It feels too easy. And here is what I want you to really hear today. Do not judge the value of your product by how simple it was for you to create. Judge it by whether it helps someone else solve a problem, whether it saves them time, whether it helps them avoid confusion, whether it gives them a clear next step they did not have before. Simple does not mean worthless. Sometimes simple is exactly what people need. Think about it from the other side for a second. Imagine you are dealing with a confusing problem. You have spent hours trying to figure something out on your own, hitting dead ends, getting frustrated, and then you find a simple, clear resource that cuts through all of that confusion in 5 minutes. How much is that worth to you in that moment? Probably a lot more than the time it took someone to create it. That is a real way to think about pricing, not how many hours went into making it, how much value it delivers to the person receiving it. So here is the angle I want you to remember from this video. You are not charging for pages, you are charging for clarity. A one-page cheat sheet that gives someone exactly what they need in language they actually understand at the exact moment they need it, that has real value. Real value that has nothing to do with how long the document is or how complicated it looks. Clarity is valuable. Saving someone time is valuable. Helping someone avoid confusion is valuable. That is what you are actually selling, even when the product itself looks simple. Now, let me give you something practical to actually work with. For a simple beginner product, like a checklist or cheat sheet, something that solves one clear problem in a focused way, A fair beginner-friendly price range is usually somewhere between $7 and $20. Low enough that it feels like an easy yes, high enough that it reflects real value and does not feel like you are giving your knowledge away for nothing. For something more involved, like a beginner's guide or a template that saves someone significant time, you can comfortably move into the $20 to $50 range, depending on the depth and the specific problem it solves. These are not hard rules. They are starting points. The goal is not to find the perfect number. The goal is to pick a fair price, put it out there, and see how people respond. And here is what I want to say to anyone who is genuinely scared to charge money for something simple. You do not have to charge a lot at first, but you do have to get comfortable charging something. Free can actually undermine trust in a strange way. When something costs nothing, people sometimes assume it is worth nothing. A fair, small price actually signals that what you have created has real value. And it also means the person receiving it is more likely to actually use it instead of letting it sit unopened. Start with a fair beginner price, get it out there. Learn from how people respond, improve as you go. That is exactly what I did. And I am still adjusting and learning as I create more products. Pricing is not something you figure out once and never think about again. It is something you get more comfortable with over time, the same way everything else in this process gets easier with practice. If I can get comfortable charging for what I create after everything I went through, so can you. So here is your simple takeaway from today. Stop asking how many hours did this take me to create. Start asking how much value does this give the person who buys it. You are not charging for pages. You are charging for clarity, and clarity is worth something. If you are sitting on a product idea right now and the only thing holding you back is fear around pricing, pick a fair, simple number, put it out there, and let real feedback guide you from here. You will learn more from one real sale than from weeks of overthinking the perfect price. And if you want to see how I have priced my own simple digital products, I have left the link in the description below. Have a look and see what fair beginner pricing actually looks like in practice. Next video, I want to talk about something a lot of people ask me about using AI tools without feeling overwhelmed. And the handful of simple tools I actually use in my own process. If this video helped you today, hit that subscribe button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to hear this. That's it for today. See you next time.